Technology is used against us under capitalism. Instead of companies being like, "Hey Jim, Joe, and Jan, we just purchased a machine that will double the productivity in your department. We're asking that you work your normal hours, but double your production and productivity until the profit of the new machine has paid for itself. Once that's done, we'll cut your hours in half. No loss of pay or benefits. Thanks for sticking with us and getting us to this point. We get. New machines will be here in December. You're expected to run 2 machines, which effectively raises your production 4x. But hey, the machine almost runs itself. So if you expect a raise, eat shit. And it will never end. The problem isn't technology. It's greed. It's capitalism. It's even funnier when the technology that's brought in to help actually just straight up sucks. And malfunctions all the time, causing just more headaches for everyone involved than if it just wasn't brought in at all. I think it's hilarious our parents I am 30 were sold this idea that our tech will let everyone work less in some way. How did anyone believe this shit? Our tech is incredible and all it does it make the one more rich and we lose our jobs as tech gets better tears of joy. For real. A friend of mine who was a social worker in a nursing home posted a video about these fancy beds that would make transferring and repositioning patients easier so one person can do it. She thought it was the coolest thing, but I saw through that bullshit right away. I commented that if the place she worked at got those, they would cut staff in half to make room in the budget, and if one person can do all that, then one person will do all that. All in the name of greed. Machines work harder and faster. No need to rest, food, or holidays. They don't claim or make labor unions. Machines do the common days without any question. They don't care about people. They only want to make more money. When capitalism make the rule, this is the result. Machines replace workers, but the workers that remain have to tend to the machines and have to work like machines because they have too much responsibility. The people who still think technology will lead to people working less don't understand that it doesn't mean everyone will only work 4 hours a day. It means someone will work 8 or 9 hour days, but another person will be jobless because paying benefits for one person is expensive enough, and a full-time position gives more control over a person. I don't know how they refuse to see how this world is working. AITA gonna get to a point where machines will do everything. People will be unemployed and unable to buy anything. Then the moron corpos will be wondering why their profits are tanking. And the answer is they made everyone unemployed, so there is no money for anything other than the basic needs items. The ultimate goal is power and profit. Nothing else. You either join them or get FCKED. This is why we can never get from here to anything like the Star Trek techno-utopia. The politics of capital ownership means that all the benefits of technology ultimately flow to the owner class. We can't become post-scarcity when we have the entire system structured, above all, to manufacture scarcity for the benefit of an exclusive few. Always have been. I feel personally attacked. This is literally my situation. But because of all the productivity, we no longer work overtime. And I just started my weekend job 3 weeks ago. It's definitely not worth my time in comparison to what I was making. But I can't be a choosy beggar when everything is maxed out and ya can't afford groceries and prescriptions and gas. Goes all the way back to the Luddites. They were not against tech. They were against capital class assholes keeping all the money and kicking them out of a job. They smashed will we do? Sometimes. I've also automated my job without my boss's knowledge twice now, to the point I can work an hour for a full day's pay some days. So it can go both ways. I dearly recommend the book, Breaking Things at Work by Gavin Muller. Leave it to capitalism to turn robots or going to do our work for us into a problem somehow. The problem is indeed greed. And also, those bald trillionaires. Same thing 120 years ago with Industrial Revolution. They have stolen all the productivity gained from technology once again. The only difference between Star Trek and Blade Runner is whose problems technology is used to solve. Been that way since old Eli Whitney invented the cotton gin. As long as corporations and other wealth extraction engines exist, technology will be used to accelerate toil instead of reduce. If we can kill capitalism and replace it with something much less horrible, we will be much better off. Kropotkin worked out a 10-hour workweek 200 years ago. The only reason we all suffer is because we handed the keys to our well-being to sociopaths. Our soul-crushing began with the clock. Technology has always been used to oppress, not liberate. If you want to do some reading around this, try Cyber Marx. Good book. Remember, the Luddites were the good guys. It's not even greed. They don't just want more money. They want all the resources. All the power control. That's the goal. But yeah, great example op. It's very fucked up. The answer is worker co-ops. If the owner buys a machine that improves efficiency, then you work the same and he gets more money. If the workers own the company, then they have now got themselves more time off. You forgot about the part where they fire Jim. The rich get the new toys, and since they're usually the first adopters, they're also the first feedback, which then dictates the direction that technology goes to. Ergo, we're heading into robotics that'll replace most jobs without any rules or regulations to protect the working class. AI. That'll replace the intelligent and stifle free thought with, again, no rules or regulations. It's all by design. Technology is why we have such an abundance of wealth. Capitalism is why the wealth is in so few hands. Under capitalism, even our own labor is turned against us. Inventor: this invention will make work easier and take less time. The worker will have more free time. The capitalist: actually, this invention will make work faster and make me more profit. The worker will have the same or less amount of free time. Happened many times in the past: technological revolutions, agricultural revolutions, industrial revolutions. People today are seemingly not aware of this. All the time what it brought was an increase of inactive people, decline of quality value of life, ever bigger wars, etc. I think you're right. But it's good to understand that when productivity increases, the company will cut prices in order to outprice the competition. This outpricing is the main culprit of why workers' compensation has stagnated. It's also the reason why some items are as cheap as they are. The business put up the capital for the investment, hired the people to do the install, and pay the salary of the staff that is supposed to maintain it. One day we'll stop talking about capitalism versus socialism and find a new abstraction that actually leads to balanced lives for all. My employer can track us to the point that they can tell if we are in a building or in the parking lot of that building. It leads to people spending time trying to figure out how to cheat at leave your company phone where you are supposed to be and forward your calls to your personal phone, etc. Automation-funded universal basic income makes it used for everyone under capitalism. That's why it's called communism. Wait until AI really hits its stride.